What it do? It's your boy Yellow the Poet.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Princess Jasmine.
And I'm Neat Wicked. Thank you for joining us this Sunday, Laid Back Sunday Fun Day, Open Topic Day, where today we'll pretty much talk about whatever we want. And we were talking about earlier the important roles that fathers play in being in their children's lives as well as them not being in their children's lives.
Yes. And it's pretty interesting.
We're talking about how you can't call all dads the true definition of that word. Because let's just say if a father wants to be in the child's life, but the mother won't allow him to because he's not with her on a personal level, and he just gets tired of going through the same old drama, and he just throws his hands up and say, well, you know what, I'm done trying, I'm not gonna keep trying, I'm just gonna maybe when he or she turn 18, they'll look me up, blah, blah. Can we really fault them for that, or do we fault the mom? I'd say we fault the mom, because the kid shouldn't be used as a pawn just because you want him but he doesn't want you. And the only way that he can see the child is if he's with you.
And also to add to that, what about those fathers who they're on child support and they put in a visitation order for visitation so that they can see their children, and the mom still violates the child support order, and then child support does not honor the order? How do they be classified as a deadbeat dad that didn't want to do anything for their children? I mean, contrary to popular belief, there are men out here that actually want to partake in their children's lives physically, but may not be able to provide for them financially. But in reality, what's really more important? Is it more important to have that physical contact, or is it more important to provide for them financially?
As a child, as long as I'm still alive and I have a roof over my head, I will be perfectly fine with that for, that other parent to just be spending time with me. That's it. I'm perfectly fine. I will be perfectly fine with that. I will be fine with that. You don't gotta spend no money or whatever. I understand you falling on hard times, but at least one of the parents is able to provide for me and make sure that I'm good, and I got things that I need. The other parent, you don't gotta do that.
I absolutely think spending time is way more valuable.
Yeah.
The whole child support thing. I mean, because I think a real man is going to do that regardless.
Exactly.
Or at least make sure that, right, or at least try to provide the material things. But when they want to actually spend that quality time with the child, I don't think anything should get in the way of that. No personal feelings, none of that, because your personal feelings don't mean shit compared to what that child is missing out on because you want to let your personal feelings get in the way.
Yes, indeed.
So, unless the man is some physical threat to the child or emotionally damaged to where they're not good in that capacity to be around the child, or, to that extent, where the child could possibly be in any particular form of harm, then I don't see a reason as to why games should be played as far as allowing the man to spend time with the child.
Yes, and the fact of the matter is that it should be honest, not some manipulated by someone just because this person doesn't want to be with you. It should actually be honest. And once that barrier has been crossed where there is the lack of honesty, then it makes it hard not only for makes it hard for the child as well. And then another thing about that is, when you think about it, if the father at least has the opportunity to spend time with their child, there's a little less stress on the mom that has to be that single parent who's pretty much taking care of everything. It's not, you don't lose your emotional attachment to your child just because the father gets to spend time with the child. It's actually a win-win on all three parties.
I honestly don't think that that's how they're looking at it at all.
You
I
know?
think it's from a selfish perspective.
Yep.
I don't think they feel like they're losing out on anything as far as the child is concerned by letting the father see them spend time
Because
with
a lot
them.
of those females, I know quite a few of those females, and I came across quite a few of those females. Their thought process is not that some of the stress is going to be taken off of me and having to deal with the child alone. No, their thought process is more so, I don't need you like I have a whole other man who can do what I need. And that way they can get the stress taken off of it that way.
Okay, but in reality, let's talk about the realness of the situation here. In reality, if you know that you're bitter or angry or agitated about the fact that this man decided not to be with you before any other guy ever even came along, and you're still acting upon that,
Yep.
how is it that this other man is really actually satisfying you?
See, that's the thing. My thing is, I don't care nothing about that. I don't give a damn about any of that. That portion, I do not care. Whatever goes on between you and that man is between you and that man. It has nothing to do with that child. When you sit there and you look at the man and you tell him we're fine without you, I don't need you. In that child's mind, what they're thinking, I need you.
Right.
I need that
That's
other
all that
parent.
should matter. That's what should matter.
Right.
So
Like,
not what you need or don't need.
Right.
It's what the child needs.
if you don't need him, then fine. Nobody needs you to need him. He don't need you to need him.
Exactly.
He just
But you
needs to
don't
be
want
with
to.
his damn child. That's it. Just that simple.
Yeah, and that's the truth. I mean, I came from a situation where I missed 7 years because his mom was constantly running instead of allowing me to be able to spend time with my son. I had some financial difficulties, yes, I did. There were some challenges, financially, but at the end of the day, I still tried to spend time with him to help him to be raised to be a man, or especially to be a good man. Because any real father, you want your son to be better than you. You don't want your son to be the same as you. You want to be better than you. Of course, because of the characters and traits, there are going to be some things that's going to be exactly like you. But you can still teach your children how to overcome those things and be better.
It's all about the petty. Being petty. And nobody suffers for it but the child. Nobody's being hurt by that. The child.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's really not fair to the child to have to be stuck between two people who can't get their shit together.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh.
That's not fair. I don't care. I don't care if anybody disagrees. I just think that my personal feeling is that it's not fair for the child to be stuck up in that. Not at all. Another thing that we looked at too is the children that end up in foster care. Do you know that they talked about that on any given day there are nearly 425,000 children in foster care in the United States?
And my take on that is, like I said, before you want to go snatching children up away from their parents, because of obvious reasons, the parents don't know what the hell they're doing, why not offer parenting classes, and then you come up with some form of exam or test that would dictate whether or not they're able to get their children back. You can't just go shove them into foster care, not knowing if you're putting them in an even worse environment with worse people.
Yeah.
I just think that would be a lot more humane way to handle it. Because just snatching a child away from the parent, sticking them in some place they don't know these people. They have no clue who these people are. None of that.
Yeah.
But just because a family represents themselves as a good family doesn't mean that that's always true.
It doesn't, because sometimes they know how to beat the system
Manipulate
in order
the
to
system.
get the children to come into their household. But it's not about that child. It's more so about what the government assistance that the parents get from that child, from having that child in their home. Sometimes it's not about, trying to be that parent that's gonna show these children that just because I'm not your biological parent, I can't teach you to be a better person. It's not always about that. Sometimes it's just about the money. And it's sad, but true. Life works this way. Look at our government. I mean, seriously, like every single thing that's done, it continues to circulate money back into the governmental system. Take, for example, child support. When one of the parents who ever filed for child support, if you don't have a job, they take a portion of your money for themselves and then give you the rest. Then think about when people die. Where do you think this money is coming from? Where do you think it's going? If somebody dies in the hospital get paid, the funeral home get paid, the insurance company get paid, and then they give you the rest. It's just so many things, so many different factors that factors into this whole thing that a lot of people don't think about before they make the decisions to file for this child support, one, and two, to take the other parent out of their children's lives. If it were a life and death situation, true indeed, take that child out of this other parent's life or this other person's life, because the child doesn't need to endure that under any circumstances.
Yeah, but at the same time, also screen the ones that you call yourself putting the child with, too. How about screen them? Vet them. Make sure that they're actually safe. The child is actually going into a safe environment. Not going into something similar or worse.
Right.
It's like I said, just because a family look good don't mean that they are good.
Yeah. And it said also too that we talking about this year alone in 2019, that in 2019, 672,000 children spent time in U.S. foster care. And the average child between 8 years old and up spends the remainder of their life up until they're 18 in foster care. And those children that spend that amount of time without a father present in their lives are due to peer pressure, stress-related situations that get them incarcerated, homelessness. It's so many things that this is not something that I'm making up. This is something that's coming from actual statistics that were done from children'srights.org. So this is not something that I'm making up, but there are some things in this that I've personally either seen or had someone around me that's actually been in the system and know what the system does and has been able to explain to me what's going on with that. It's not right.
No.
It's not right at all. And it's sad to have to see the children go through something like that. I mean, I'm not ever in agreement with someone taking the opportunity to take one of the parents away from the child, especially if that person never, ever has meant that child any harm. Never. That's not fair. It's not right.
Or just for the simple fact they didn't know what they were doing. We can all agree that, like we said, parenting doesn't come with a book of instructions.
Right.
Especially for fresh want to get their children back, then so be it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it. But don't just snatch up the kid and say, oh, well, this child is staying with me because you're unfit.
Yeah.
Show them how to be fit then.
Yeah. Give them some type of guidance. It also stated that in 2019 that more than 71,000 children whose mothers and fathers were parental rights had been legally terminated were waiting to be adopted. 71,000. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of children
Yes, it
waiting
is.
to
It
be
really
adopted. And then to say that, who's to say that those children are not going to be some of the ones that end up in the system until they're 18?
Very true.
And from people that I know that have actually been in the system, they clearly state that the system doesn't really take care of them the way that they say that
Well, I hope everybody knows
popular
about that.
thing says that they do.
Yeah.
I can't speak on that because I've never been in that situation, but like I said, I do know somebody that has been.
Yeah.
So they can find it.
It shouldn't. I mean, anything. The heat is on. I feel it.
He was like, yeah, it's going down.
It was just okay.
So here are some other facts that it came from fatherhood.org. It says that involved dads improve their children's overall emotional and social well-being. It said men with absent fathers are more likely to become absent fathers themselves. It also states that children living without their father in the home are 47% more likely to live in poverty. It's not saying that the father's how the end all be all, but it is stating that homes with both parents involved, it doesn't mean that they have to be exactly in the same home, but with both parents involved, you actually have some form of influence on your children as to what direction they're going to go in life and keep them from being in a bad situation. So, I actually,
Yeah, during my nap time.
without your father being in your life and being active in your life, how do you think you would have responded to life?
Okay, first of all, without you, I wouldn't have known where my anger came from. So, without knowing where it's from, like we said several times before, it's good to know your roots. If I didn't know that, that would have been hell, okay? And also, I would have been looking like, you remember Hunchback of Notre Dame? How I was looking?
Quasimodo.
Yeah, I would have been looking like that at least like once a week.
Sad to say. Sad to say.
It's very sad to say.
And it's also another bad thing that a lot of times children endure things from one parent that they don't endure from the other. And they're so afraid to say anything that they end up enduring this stuff for long periods of time. And that's never a good thing. Never.
It's called brainwashing the children. It's called brainwashing the children.
Yeah, do some heavy
Really
brainwashing.
mind of the young.
Yeah, pretty much.
As an authority figure that has been known to be a not so difficult thing to do to children. Especially when you start them off real young.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Like
It
4 years
says,
old.
it says in America, 23.6% of children, which I'm talking about that 17.4 million, live in father absent homes.
That's pretty much
possibly be bad fathers. Some of these fathers out here have been fighting and going crazy trying to be in their children's lives, but then you have all these various factors, like for example being lied on, because that's one of the big ones, and then the mother getting so angry that because you're not going to be with her, she don't want you to see your children.
Right, see, that's why I have
You
the
know.
biggest problem that when they do that. Like, you shouldn't, the child don't have nothing to do with that.
Right.
That's between, first of all, you can't make somebody want you. I don't care how much you want them. You can't make them want you back.
True.
Either they're going to want you or they're not. One,
Yeah.
just that simple. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is.
And then another thing they get with another guy, and the guy's so damn jealous, he don't want you to be around her. So another factor that's keeping you
Yeah,
from being
that's
around your child.
females who gotta get with the same thing. I mean, it's
So it's
so
too
immature,
much chaotic.
childish, and nobody say that again. Nobody say you're a child. Period.
If you not gonna think about your child in that way, do what I do. Don't have one.
That's right. You see, don't tell me this one down.
So it's horrible with the high numbers and the high percentages of fathers that are absent in their children's lives.
You gotta think about the ones that are like locked up and the ones that passed away. It's a lot of stuff that can like that. It's a lot of stuff that can add up to that.
Well, it said that the children who have imprisoned fathers end up, they're more likely to have depression.
I can believe that. Definitely. It's just not fair to the child. Not fair. It's not.
It is. And then it's like a trickle down effect because it also stated that women with absent fathers are more likely to have children with absent fathers.
That's not true. I had an absent dad. I didn't have children with an absent dad. That's not true. That's statistic.
Right. That's what it's saying. That all of this is statistically,
Right, I'm saying
there's
it came
things
up with
that happen.
I mean, I don't agree with that at all.
Well, I believe that happened quite a bit, but everybody's not the same.
No, exactly. Everybody's not the same. It starts at home. There's got to be something.
In fact, I believe that makes the female not want that to happen.
Yeah.
Period. I think it does the complete opposite of that. So
I kind of feel like it would push her to make sure that it's her that she has. It would kind of.
This heat is going up. We used to be talking about, oh, it's going down. It's
What
going
is
down.
going on
It's going
with
up.
this heat?
How do you turn this down?
Yeah.
Yes, cooling. So it's the complete opposite.
So also it stated that
It's just steady going up.
in Mississippi has the highest number of children
Look, that's what happened.
with
It was
absent
gone, but
fathers
had to take reset again.
at
Yeah, it was cool
36.2%,
enough.
followed by
At first it was.
Exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
telling. That's what I was telling him, and it was working.
34.4%, and then Alabama at 30.7%. That's still high. There's still high percentages of families with absent fathers. True indeed. So between Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, it's saying that they have the highest ratings for absentee fathers.
What about?
Saying that they have the highest rates for absentee fathers. Mississippi, Alabama,
Oh,
and
yeah, the ones who like to be in
Louisiana.
everybody's business as far as their legislative
What was that
government
last name?
is concerned.
Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi.
Louisiana, that's the last one.
Yeah. But they just trying to like show how important it is for the fathers to actually partake in the children's lives. Because those of you who are not trying to partake in those children's lives, then
be around you,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm sorry, but you are just a messed up individual if you just not trying to be your kid's life. At least a visit or something. I mean, come on.
Yes. Yes. And then like those situations when the mom called wolf, cried wolf, just to try to get the father to come out to protect their children, but you're not actually protecting your children from anything.
Right.
Because nothing's actually happening. Like what the heck is going on? Seriously. Who would want to continuously go through something like that? Who would? It's not fair to the children. It's not fair to the father. And then the system forces you. They take all your finances away from you, leaving you damn near
If you're not any
homeless.
parents for nap time, if you got any parents for nap time,
For nap time. What about the nap time? You ready to go to sleep?
no, not right now. I'm ready to eat. And then after I eat, I'm gonna get ready to go to sleep. Oh, I need a phone call. But like,
Yeah, I sleep.
I gotta have a phone call after I eat, but like, you are really good. Like, you are.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't have to make the phone call. We're just
Oh my goodness.
wake up and do what you mean.
Oh my goodness. But you know, it seems as though the male role in a child's life is so important. I wonder how would it be like for a child who just doesn't have any male role model at all? Like, does it really turn out bad for those children that have that?
I don't think so. Not if they have a
Those
strong
type
mother.
situations?
I don't think so.
Right. If they got a
If they have a strong mother.
I've known kids who literally no male figure in their life at all.
Mhm.
And they like their mom, that's your mama and your daddy.
Right. I think if you have a strong mother, yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely turn out pretty good.
Yeah. I've known where that would happen, where it would turn out bad in some cases, where the mom isn't really as strong as she should be on her own, you know?
Mhm.
Her children would just run over her, and I witnessed it, and I'm like, yo, y'all need to fight it down. That's your whole mama, and you acting like that?
Yeah.
I'm about to knock you out myself for her. You
Yeah.
better pipe it down. Look, you gonna act like that, don't do it around me. Because I will swing on you for your mama.
And then you think about this too. Like if they're saying that the males, you know, being dominant in the relationship or in the child's life, what do you think is happening, or what do you think is going through somebody else's mind when they see a child inside the store throwing a tantrum? I honestly don't think that has anything to do with it at all.
What, a dad?
That the dad may not be in that child's life, but them be
I don't
throwing a
think-
tantrum.
No,
It's just
the
a
child.
child.
They
The
think
child
they need
is
to
gonna
ask. Well, that's the first
The
thought.
child is going to throw a tantrum. I don't care who they with. That's the phase that all children go through.
What's up, Carol? How you doing?
Tantrums. So I'm just saying that. Yeah.
That'd be the first thought. The first thought in people's mind is not, oh, they dad probably not in their life. No,
Nah.
when you leave,
That's exactly what they're. That's
they're not
yeah.
working that
Like,
ass. They, it wouldn't be acting like that if they
or
were.
that can be nice.
Right.
Right.
Especially ones who got their kids with them. You see that?
Yeah. Did you
When
see
you
that?
ever act
If
like
you ever,
that,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
That'd be the first thought.
Yes.
Hey,
That's
hey,
the first
what
thought.
about the old school? They say, yeah, you act like that if you want to. I'll beat your ass in this store, and then I'll wait for the
Like I
police to
said,
come
my
get me. Their parents did not play that. They was like, I'll beat your ass in the store, and I'll wait for the police to come get me. My fault, man. It says, and they'll say like like it'd be so crazy when the old school say it, 'cause the old school they be having some sayings.
Like I'll knock you into next year.
Like, boy, if you don't stop acting fool, I'm gonna knock you in the middle of next week.
Oh my God. Which means basically you're not waking up until sometime in the middle of next week.
So as you get ready, because you got to have a long nap.
You think you want to have grandparents? Not me,
My grandparents never did that because they didn't believe they should be getting children. So my grandmother would never do anything like that. My mom, yeah, she believed in ass glow. But my grandparents know, which made me wonder, like, where'd you get it from? Considering your mother and father don't do that, but yet you like the queen of ass whoopings. That's what she known as in family, you know, so yeah.
That's what my mom known as.
For real?
Yeah.
You think she cracked me one good time so I could take a good long nap? You said a long nap, my God.
Hey, that's more like comatose. That ain't no nap.
Like a mini coma?
Right.
One good time, you know. I think I'll be out. Maybe like a rolling pin or cast iron skillet, just a little tap, just, you know, just a little bit. I think that'll do the trick.
Leave it, please.
I think both of them need to be armed. That's why it's not.
Say what?
So, can you imagine going to the grocery store? Like, I used to see those people and they children be throwing a tantrum. I'd be like, OMG, are you serious?
I just can't stand seeing how
Right
certain people don't know how to handle that situation.
now. Oh my goodness.
Those be the worst. Stop.
Right. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure your parent didn't do that.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Oh, look, I got a tip for you. You see that shoe you wear right there? maybe like three. Maybe like three, you'll be good.
Hey, I remember when you did that in the store. OMG.
You come on, you walked away.
Yeah.
You just walked away.
Yes, I walked away.
You there.
But I only walked to where you couldn't see me. I was able to see you.
I stopped crying so fast and I started running after you. Like, man, how you gonna be like that? I'm over here trying to have a fit. You gonna walk away?
Let mine, you stand your little ass right there in the middle of the hall. You can throw all the tantrum you want. I don't know.
I seen one lady. This is the craziest one I ever seen. I was like in shock when it happened. Like I didn't know what to do. I'm just like, oh, okay. She she was in the store and she grabbed something in the store like off the shelf, and she pop. Get it together. And I'm just,
That's right. That's right. Get together then.
Hey, that's what old school they did. Hey, I remember when your brother did it. Your brother threw a tantrum in the store. We was going grocery shopping, and he was like just constantly asking for a whole bunch of different stuff. Like, I've already got you something. Like, okay, you're not gonna keep getting stuff. Like, no, not this time, no. So he like gets on that in there, get that little motion, and just fall out on the floor and start screaming and hollering. I was like, really? That's what we gonna do? And he just screaming and hollering. So as soon as he turned around to one spot, pop, and one good time on his behind, he did like this, like, what? Like, whoa, did you really just? And I said, if you keep going, I'm gonna pop you again. He got his butt up, and I had no more problems out of him for the rest of the day.
There you go.
which one though?
I said,
You got
oh my
one.
gosh.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. I popped him one good time. Like, dude, you know, life messed up. Epic.
Got your life messed up. That's what it is.
You know, that one used to be, that one right there.
That one.
That little itty bitty one right there. Oh my goodness, I could not stand you walking. And, you know, you hold his hand and you walking with her. This child, if you're not paying attention, you dragging a body.
Oh, no. No, I wouldn't. He would have been left. I'm not doing it like I said. The one time when my oldest did pull that on me in the mall, fell out on the floor. You want to fall out on the floor? Oh, okay. Bye-bye. I'll see you later. And that way, while his legs was still in the middle of the mall floor, laid out, I'll see you later. And I walked away. She looked up like, she crazy, she don't leave me. Like, and next thing then my friend was like, girl, you gonna let me leave him? Watch me.
No, see.
Exactly.
And I get wrong by the time I got to the door, all you see was him running, yelling, I said, yeah. I think you get up when you see me get ready to walk out this door. I said, did you honestly think I was gonna play with you like that?
Exactly.
No.
Maybe have
Yeah,
that
he all
like
messed up.
up, playing fail.
Yeah, epic fail.
The reason why you end up dragging the body is because he got so used to when he holds two people's hands and how we just let him swing and stuff, something like that and all that. He thought he'd do that with one person.
Oh no.
And next thing you know, you go, oh, no. I need you to use your legs. You know how to use it. Okay, let's walk. I don't know what that was, but we're not going to do that again.
I definitely would have left him too. Yo, you finna be left too. I'm not gonna play. I don't do that. No. I'm not dragging, I'm not tussling, I'm not fighting with no kid. I'm not doing that.
No way, no how. Too much.
Yeah,
to be doing.
way too much.
And especially once they get a certain age.
Oh, it's a wrap.
You know,
You
dragging you down.
It's a wrap. Yes, and I don't care who does like it. I'm not doing that.
Dragging you down the damn streets.
That is insane. See, I didn't get the tantrums for that because I already know if I'm taking the kids to the store, you better have some money to buy them something because they're going to ask for something. So that was never my issue with the whole tantrum thing. The one that my son did on me was because he got mad because I didn't go to the store when he wanted me to. That's what his tantrum was about. I didn't go into the store that when he was ready to go. So yeah, I'm going
how you
to
doing today,
but
sister?
yeah, okay.
We're
I'm
actually,
showing you how that's not the good that I didn't do
right.
me.
We're actually talking about the impact that fathers have on their children's lives and the various things that are happening, like for example,
Yes.
child support and in relationships. A lot of times, some of the females, if the guy's not going to be with her, then she'll dismiss him from being in the child's life because he's not going to be with her.
Right, and that the child is the one that loses out in the end. It's not the adults fail to see that this is a child that loses. It's not you or the other person. It's a child.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't force someone to be with you. You can't force somebody to, want to rekindle whatever it was that you had. I mean, let that go. Get over it. First and foremost, your child should be put to the forefront.
Yeah.
And what is best for them.
Yeah, and it's also a lot of statistics that can actually back it up because it's stated now that there are over 425,000 children that are in foster care and 17.4 million children in the United States without fathers living in the same home.
That's crazy.
And
that's way too much.
It talked about how much impact and influence that the father can have on their children. What's up, Tiff? How you doing today? So it's talking about how much impact the fathers can have on their children's lives to keep them from going through certain things. Like, for example, if the father is incarcerated, the children have a high chance of going through depression. And if a father is not in their child's lives, a lot of times they get into things like
Being influenced by the
being
wrong
influenced by the
male
wrong people, yeah,
person.
definitely.
Yeah.
And making bad decisions and bad judgment calls. Like, it's a lot of things that factor into fathers having an impact on their children's lives. So these are the things that we're actually talking about today. And sometimes the behavior of the children that that's not leads up to that, but that can display that, yeah, maybe the father is not around.
Yeah.
So those are the
And they
things that we're
lash
actually
out,
talking
and they
about.
get angry,
Yes.
and you know, all of that could be avoided if adults would just learn how to sit down and talk stuff out, and just say, okay, just because we don't get along with each other, don't like each other, we could at least coexist, co-parent for the sake of the child. You know?
Exactly. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, because like a lot of times, like even as a guy, and I'm gonna speak from my own experiences. As a guy, a lot of times, if we don't do any homework, if we're not as active in our children's lives, then we don't know what impact that we're having against our children.
And then you don't find out until way later.
Exactly. We find out later, once the child gets older, how angry they are, how bitter they are with us, because we failed to partake in their lives as they were growing up.
Right.
Now, it's different for me, and the reason why I'm saying from personal experiences, because with my children, I actually did, show them that I'm there, I'm going to be there, regardless of what happened, regardless of what your age is. Like, to this day, my children still come to me for advice, and I got adult children. I got one child that's not an adult. I have adult children, they still come to me for advice, which shows that, yes, I did do something right.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good. It definitely makes me feel good as a father. And when I see some of my friends, they be like, oh man, I ain't got time for that, I ain't got time for this, so I ain't got time for that. And I say friends because at that time, we were all young adults. And we were all, hanging out and kicking it, and we all had children. But for me, I feel like if you're not the type of guy that's going to be there for your children, then I don't need to be around you.
Exactly.
I don't need to hang with you. I need to be with like-minded gentlemen who are going to understand that we have an obligation. And the obligation isn't about selfishness. It's about being a real man, being a real father to your children. That's what it's about.
Okay, I got a question for you. As a guy with children, and you also have friends that also have children, at some point, some of y'all kids were like all babies around the same time.
Yeah.
How do y'all hang out? Like what? How do you
Take the kid with
Yeah,
you.
you take the children with you. You take them to the park.
Yeah.
We go do things that we know our children can be involved in.
Exactly.
The only time that we had like time to ourselves is like, take for example, if we playing today and we know that we all getting off work at the same time and we want to go hoop, we want to go play basketball. We were playing that first, get that done, and not play for as long as we would normally want to play, and then go back home and spend time with our children. So it's about how you pre-plan your day. It's about what's best for your children. It's not about, when you have children, it's not about what's best for you anymore.
you somewhere now. Priority, you are not.
Right. It's not about, and if you're an active father, like real talk, if you're an active father, then you know that your role as a father, you are going to be just as busy with your children as the mother is.
Yep. Definitely.
And it's a tiresome road. I'm not going to pretend like it's not. It's a very, very tiresome road. Because you have a lot of, the children have so much energy, it's unreal.
Who were you hanging out with when I was a baby that actually had babies and stuff like that?
Well, like for example, I can say, I'm not going to say his full name for privacy, but like my boy Rob, when we stayed in Augusta, he has a daughter, I got a daughter. So I would hang out with people, like if the guy only had sons, I didn't like pretty much take you around just only guys because you have to get a sense. To me, I feel like we have to have a sense of what it is like to be around other girls. So I would hang out with the guys that actually had daughters when it was time for like me and you to hang out.
Now that I'm well over the age and I've had a sense of what it's like to hang out with girls, no.
Okay.
Okay. Well, but still, it's about knowing you, knowing the nature of being a female. So my role in that was to actually have you interact with other children that had moms that were around and that were actually teaching their daughters something. Sorry you didn't have that, but I'm just saying. The ones that were actually teaching their daughters something, that was my way of being able to give that back to you.
Please tell me I didn't like the kids since
I can't tell you that because I don't know.
Oh, I wasn't beating up kids. You mean to tell me that you heard me going outside with other people's kids and I wasn't beating them up?
Well, you did fight some children, but you wasn't always into no fight. You was having fun. You was more mean to adults than you were to children.
I know I was. Like, that honestly still hasn't changed.
She was more mean to adults. That other girl was mean as heck. Like, the only time that her mom could hold her is when she was feeding her. After she was feeding her, it was like, okay, you can put me down now. I don't want nothing else to do with you. It's crazy, but it was the truth. You know, it's the truth.
I've always been mean to older people. Like, I'm still like that now. Like, if you're older, I'm not going to be nice to you off the bat.
That is not cool.
I don't like older people.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, I can't.
Just remember, you're going to be an older person
I know.
too one of these days.
I know, but like, let me explain. Because I know
See
it
how
sounds
much they
crazy.
like you.
I know it sounds crazy.
They're not.
But
They're
look.
not gonna like you.
Yeah, let's see.
They're gonna say, yeah, that
illegitimate
old
reason.
woman, you know, she's a crap.
Right, let's see this
They're not gonna
illegitimate
like
reason.
you.
I hope they don't.
Oh, they're not. Believe me, they're not. You gonna get what you wishing for. They're not gonna like you.
But you gotta understand that karma is real. It's
Very
serious.
much so.
Yeah.
It's very real.
Yeah, I know.
So you talking about you don't like older people? What's the reason gonna happen?
That's why I said she's gonna be an older person, and they're not gonna like you.
Because when I'm an older person, I'm not going to little itty bitty children around me, man. Get out of here.
That's what you say.
Okay.
That's what you say. We'll see about that.
No, but for real, I've always been like a little bit more mean to older people. Because like, see, growing up, older people, from a lot of the ones that I've met, you think you can do whatever you want because you're older. You think you can talk to children however you want because you're older. Like, I've come across that a lot, and that's why I'm like, okay, I've seen this happen way too many
The
times.
small
They're not
portion
gonna
that
catch
you
me off guard. No way. No, not happening. You pick on kids. I've seen an older kid, literally, one time when I went outside with her of relation to me. I went outside with her. My name comes a troll. And her friends, they were literally picking on the little kids and laughing at them. Oh my God, they're so small. They can't even do anything. Their head's gonna be hurt when they hit us back. You think that's funny? You're terrorizing little children and you think it's funny just because you're bigger than them? Oh no, I won't be it. I won't be it.
Hey, your cousin said, please elaborate. What's up, Peggy? How you doing, just be, I feel like this, you may have run into some people that were pretty much bad people.
Right,
said that way.
asses, but that don't
But it doesn't
I'm a lot chiller on orders now, I promise.
It doesn't mean that at all. Because you gotta understand that some people have the patience, some people have the tolerance, some people have the understanding that I was once a child, so I know that children do things.
Right.
Some people have that, but true indeed, some people seem to have totally forgotten about every single aspect of ever being a child. Like they came out in this world as an adult.
Just knowing every damn thing.
Right.
Like, you just got all the answers. You're so, evolved.
Mhm.
Like, spare me, really.
But it doesn't erase the fact that everybody in this world has always started out as a child. So, irregardless of how you feel now about children, or how you feel later on about children, or anything of that facet, we all started out as a child.
That's right.
So at some point, when you're making a decision about how to treat a child, how to talk to a child, how to help a child, how to mentor a child, at some point we think back to, man, I remember when I was that age, and these are the things that I did. At some point we do think about those things. And it's important because it also helps you to say, man, well, I understand what you're going through because of this, or I understand what you're going through because of that. There's so many different ways that you could articulate that and make that into a better situation. But not all people do.
But you know
Very
what?
true.
Even though when I was little and I really didn't like older people, to me older people was the teenagers. I really couldn't stand them. And some adults I really didn't like. But I've always liked the old heads.
So there's a difference between old heads and older people.
Older people.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, for us, it was different.
It's all the same.
When I was little, the older people were the teenagers. I did not like them. But I was definitely having
teenagers aren't older
conversation.
people.
Well, to me,
They're
were
not.
when I was little.
That's when you were little. You
Yeah.
surpassed that now.
Yeah. That's why I said I'm a lot more chiller on older people now.
So now the older people are the old heads.
Right.
But
That's
then
what
they
I'm
were.
Right.
Yeah, now they are, but I like the old heads. I've always liked, talking to the older, like the elders, I like talking to them, but like the teenagers.
Okay, who do you consider an elder? What is
I would
considered
say
an
like
elder?
Hey, look, Peggy, your
Just
cousin,
being up,
our
like 60 and
cousin
up.
Peggy, she says.
Elder? No.
Look, our cousin Peggy says that she's obviously a very respectful young lady. We just have to socialize her with more positive older individuals that can help change her mindset towards the mature people.
Right.
Because I couldn't disagree with you more. And it's basically you just summed up exactly what I was saying in the first place. So yeah, you definitely would need to have a better interaction with people that's actually of a more positive mindset.
Yeah.
People who understand that yes, you're young, something that I just mentioned, that yes, you're young, and I remember when I was in those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
If you can put yourself in
that
another
mindset.
person's shoes, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what age they are, in other words,
When you were
once
that
were,
age, that's right.
If you can put yourself
Sometimes
in,
that's what you
can,
have to do in order to
Right.
understand your own children.
Exactly.
I know I did. I can't
Exactly.
speak for everybody else, but I did. I used to have to ask myself, is that something I would have did at that age? And if that answer was yes,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is how I'm going to handle this. And it works. It really does. It
It does.
gives you less headache
It does.
if you're able to put yourself in that little time machine and go back
Yeah.
to that age.
For that moment. Yeah.
If I would have done that,
Mm-hmm.
or would I have done it?
So how do y'all respond to a situation where when y'all face that and you even when I was your age, I still wouldn't do no shit like that.
Well, if it was something that if it was something that I wouldn't have done, then one of the first things that I feel like I need to do is to sit you down and find out where was your mind. You know what I'm saying? What was your
That's when
mindset
the whole
at that
why.
time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a
Because
why.
if even if it's something that I would have done or even contemplated in my mind, if you can get me to understand it, okay, we'll take it from there. Doesn't mean, like I said, not necessarily I'm going to agree with it, but if you can get me to understand it, I can understand something and not agree with it at the same time.
Yeah.
So
And-
if you can get it to make sense to me, to understand it, okay, I can work with that.
And also, like I've told you all before, if it's a life-threatening situation, it doesn't negate that you won't have some form of punishment, but it will negate the severity of the punishment. How bad is it? How bad should it be? You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I had the practice.
That's what I'm saying. If it's a life or death situation.
life altering situation. I had a daredevil for a son, and good grief, what the hell? You name it. If it was daring and impulsive, oh, there it was, right there, front and center.
Goodness.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'm just glad
dealing with that.
he didn't find out about a few life-threatening
That was
situations,
insane.
as you call it. I'm just glad he didn't find out about those with me and my brother.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm not telling you, so don't even try to ask him.
And look, it's whatever now. You're a young adult. We all have things that we've done as children, and we
Not
never
like
told.
that.
We never told.
Well, yeah, I mean, some things you do have to take to the grave. Hell, there's things me and my sister did that my mother still don't know.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, she suspects it, and every time we're around her, she brings that up too. But, as we stated, and you will never know, lady, so give it up. Because nobody's snitching, even at the age we are now.
Hey.
Give it up.
Hey, that's true blood right there. That's true blood. When anybody snitching, that's true blood. That's how you know.
Nope, take to the grave. Nope. Not at all. I'm not telling her, please. Oh, no. You asked for trouble.
But you know, I think that it's also helpful too, not only to just have the father being present, but to also have siblings. You know, sometimes
that plays
interaction
a
with
part
someone
in
that's in
a lot
your
of
age
things.
group is actually helpful
As
too.
well as can get you in a whole bunch of stuff that you never once thought you would be getting into, but because you,
Oh, man.
you know, gotta have a sister's back. Oh boy.
Hey, everybody has a different perspective on creative instincts. You know, that adrenaline rush is different for everybody
That
else.
adrenaline rush my eyes.
Some people don't have it.
Sometimes I can save myself a lot of ass whoopings had I just said to myself, nope, I'm gonna let you do that one all by yourself. But no, not me. I had to say, that sounds like a good idea. I think, yeah, I'll try it with you. Yeah, and at the same time, we getting our asses whooped together too. At the same time. It's like, what? And you would think I would have learned from that.
Hey.
No, because she come up with something else. Where am I? Right there. What are we doing now? Huh? What are we doing? Like when I let her talk me to get into the dryer.
Oh my goodness.
Because I can spin around like the clothes spun around. Turned out that is so not the case. So not the case. You don't turn around the way the clothes turn around.
What about the moments like when the guys get in trouble and you get your mama and she looking at you, she's like, boy, have you lost your mind? And then next thing you know, that pop upside the back of your head, you hit it like this. You're like,
You talking about it?
right.
I gotta hear it right.
You know what? My mom, she would get to the point sometime where we would do something and it would just stump her to silence.
Oh wow.
And when she would do that, we knew we done something really bad. Because my mother was never silent if she caught us doing something or she found out we did something.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get that silence, you know you've done something extremely bad.
Hey.
And when she would just, because she would know what to do or say,
Mm-hmm.
so she would just be like, and she would just be sitting huffing, really looking like, should we run? Or should we try to stay here? What do we do? And then that's what she'd catch a moment. She'd be like, get on my face. Just get on my face. Get on my face. That's how you know you've done something extremely, extremely bad.
Hey.
You know what? I don't remember what I was doing, but I know it was something very bad one time. And I got called by this guy right here, Silent Walker. Came in the room and caught me doing something that I definitely should not have been doing. I don't remember what it was. I think I was trying to stick a fork in a socket or something like that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I think it was scissors. Safety scissors though. So I thought I was
Hey,
fine.
electrocution 101.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but like when I tell you, I got that silent moment, and later, I mean like way later, like, okay, it happened at probably like 12 p.m. or like 1 p.m., right? Next thing you know, I get the silent treatment for a bunch of hours, and then right before bed at like 8 p.m., I'm getting my ass whooped, and I'm just like, well.
And see, that's what we
I was
were
expecting
thinking
this
was
sooner.
gonna happen, was that was gonna happen. When my mom get the silent, we thinking also, oh, okay, she trying to figure out what she's gonna kill us with. But that wasn't, you know, I think we used to wear my mother out sometime. I didn't think about it yet. And this time my baby sister was more, so it was just 5 girls at the time.
Okay.
5 girls. One.
No.
And could you imagine the chaos in that household? We fought like cats and dogs. She got tired of being refereed. She got tired of us trying to kill each other. So yeah, then we come up with the shenanigans of, you know, putting the mattress on the stairs and sliding down it like a sliding board and stuff. My sister slammed to the wall.
Right.
That wasn't a good idea. She didn't count that term that she had to do. Then me thinking that I could use clay. Cleanser is clay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I didn't think that cleanser dried hard the way that it did. So, and you know, my little ass got tired. I didn't feel like cleaning it up, so I fell asleep.
Oh
With
wow.
cleanser all over.
That is crazy.
And my mom got up, went into that kitchen. It wasn't just me by myself now. Hey, like I said, we in this together.
Right.
My older sister, now mind you, she should have been telling me stuff, don't play with that side.
Right.
Like a powder cleaner?
Yeah, you know, cleanser, Comet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dumped like the all over it in the sink, and then I noticed that when it got wet, it clumped up like clay. So I was like, ooh, you know, so I'm just playing with the Comet, playing with it, you know. Then I'm sitting up here making little shapes, sticking it on the counter. Like, oh, that's gonna be nice.
I'm waiting until you get to the part of the ass.
Man, my mom would go up and I fell asleep. That's what, you know, I wake up before she would, fell asleep. You know, wake up before she would, I cleaned up again. That wasn't the case. She woke up before me.
Hey, I wanted to say thank you, my boy Sean Ward, Chi-Town, one of my bros. Greatly appreciate you for stopping by and checking us out.
Yes.
He actually,
Thank all of you.
He
All
was
of you guys.
actually,
Thank
he
you
was
so
actually
much.
one of the people that actually interviewed me at the Black Men Awards in Atlanta.
Okay.
So it was actually pretty cool. I actually got to perform my poem Struggle out there. He interviewed me during that. And you can actually catch my interview. It's on my YouTube channel, Yellow the Poet. You can check it out. And it's also on my website, yellowtheport.com. So check it out. You can actually check out that interview. It was actually really, really cool. Appreciate you, Chi-Town. Appreciate you, Cousin Peggy, everybody.
Yes.
Tiff, another Chi-Towner, Nene, definitely appreciate everybody, every single person.
All
that stopped
of
by
our people,
and checked
no matter
us out.
shit
We
are.
really appreciate you all.
You about to get to the part of how she woke up before you? Because that's what we were
Oh, yeah. She woke up before I did, and you just heard the loudest screech of my name ever. Like, I don't think it's like how she knows it's me when it wasn't just me in the kitchen. But like she always told us, I know each and every last one of you. Turns out she was somewhat right about that. So yeah, she knew I had something to do with it. But also, you heard the loud screech of my sister's name as well because she knew that I wasn't in the kitchen by myself.
Oh my goodness.
So and this had to be at 2-3 o'clock in the morning when this woman woke us up. And now mind you, when you doing the damage, you don't know how much damage you've done until you actually walk in and it like hit you like boom.
Yup.
I get out, you know, when you just get woke up out your sleep, you gotta rub your eyes, try to get you focused. Yeah, I walked into that kitchen. I wish my focus had not come back. Because I wouldn't have blamed her if she would have told my ass up. When I saw what I had actually done, I mean, there was cleanser everywhere. With little shape and figures sticking on the counter and all over the counter, all over the sink. It was just there. that she had just woke me up, and you know, she gonna get some form of a coherent thought come out, and she's like, what were you thinking? And as I told you, it was like play, and you know, like I was making the arts and crafts. Art and crafts. She told me, I don't care what you thought you were making, what you made was a goddamn mess. She was like, and then she looked at my sister, and what was you doing while she was doing all of this?
Oh my God.
Because you was in here with her. See, that's the one thing she knew she was doing. You were in here with her. And my sister looking at her like, okay, but I didn't do what she did. I'm like, what you wake me up for? So my mother didn't care about that. Because my mother was her, she was, oh, she should have stopped me.
Yeah.
And she didn't do it. So she told us, both your asses gonna clean this kitchen. I don't care how long it takes. You're not going back to bed. You're not going back to sleep. Till this kitchen is spotless. I better not see one drop of cleanser nowhere in sight. If I do, I'm beating your ass.
Well,
So there he was, a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old in the kitchen at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, cleaning up dry cleansers.
This must have
Okay,
been on
it's
summer vacation.
No. This was not summer vacation, not at all.
school night.
Yes. Yeah, oh my goodness. I was so damn sleepy. And then my sister, I had to listen to her mouth when we got back in our room. I'm like, oh, shut up. I told her, you should have stopped me.
The upside to that, though, the upside to that is at least you ain't have to use your cleaning to clean up.
Nope, I sure didn't. I had cleaned that already. But I'm going to tell you, that is the hardest thing to clean up when it's dry.
Yeah.
Oh my, it's like a rock.
Yeah.
You gotta like chip at it to get it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is like, oh, what was I thinking when I did?
But see, my motto for waiting, as you was talking about, is if I'm too angry and I feel like I could possibly do more harm than good, I'm not gonna spank my children if I'm that angry at something that they've done. And that those life-threatening situations, they bother me pretty bad because I know someone who lost a sibling due to situations like that. And that bothers me because I was a small child when this happened. So it's kind of like a PTSD moment where it definitely has a major effect on you emotionally. So you don't want to see somebody actually going through that, especially not your own. So I'd rather wait until I bring it down about 1,000 notches before I even react to
Man, but let me tell you, the only reason why we like to ask for him is because after he whipped your ass, we explain why he whipped your ass.
See, we would get that before.
No.
This is what you're about to get this for.
You did something wrong.
Although if we know what we knew why, there's no explanation required. Just get it over with. Yeah. But you know the worst whoopings? The worst whoopings was when you got the conversation while you getting whooped.
Oh my goodness.
Them were the worst
Did
whoopings.
I tell you? Don't.
You gonna learn not to do what I say. Do you hear me? They ask you, do you hear me? Like in between your screaming and hollering, you supposed to be like, yes.
They be asking you all types of questions and actually expect you to give it.
Yes, they be dead serious. And if you don't answer, you get another whack until you answer.
Yes.
That is the craziest thing. Oh my goodness. If you can make sense from that, more power to you. Oh my goodness. Yes.
I don't even know what I just said.
Right. Hey, and don't let it be like one of those situations where you got the whole family around and you know you done something you ain't got no business doing. OMG. Old school coming around, boy. They gonna be, nah, I know good and goddamn well you didn't think you was gonna be getting away with that. And
See,
you think, oh,
I have to
goodness.
say, I prefer to get in trouble with my elders or their my grands. Why? Because they saved us from the ass whoopings. So I was happy about that.
No,
When my
I
great
think it
aunts
was.
and uncles and them was there, oh my goodness, it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yes.
No, they'd be like, man, you know you need your ass whipped for that.
No, they were not into the whole hitting of the children thing. That was just not their cup of tea. And I was appreciative of that. I was very appreciative of how they felt, you know, kids are gonna be kids. They're gonna get into shit. That's what they do.
Mhm.
That was their motto. Don't touch them at least while we're in the presence, you know. So, and then it'll be cool because on the way home, my mother is saying, so, you think you got away from getting that ass whooping?
Those be the worst ones.
Like, wow.
That's what
okay.
my mom say. At that moment, I felt my heart drop into my stomach.
But you know what? Honestly, but that was my mother's way of messing with you mentally.
Yep.
Because on the way home, after she done made that little statement, all the while you thinking of, damn, what ass whipping on the
Yeah.
Richter scale am I gonna get when
'Cause
I get home?
She got you. She got
She
you.
got
beat. No,
No,
she got you.
I wasn't crying. I was just sitting there
She
thinking
pretty
of.
much got you whooping your own ass.
Exactly, mentally.
Yeah.
And then when you get home, you get nothing.
Right.
She's like, girl, come here.
No, I'm talking
She
about
you get nothing. And then you think when you are getting ready for bed and you putting on your pajamas and all, you going on in your mind is like, shit, man, you thinking I was gonna get on coming home. He didn't get mad. You get mad because you didn't get that ass moving that you was contemplating the whole entire way home that you was getting ready to
You
get.
just
You
knew you was gonna get it.
You're preparing yourself mentally.
Yeah.
All day. I'm gonna take it like a soldier. I didn't
Right.
try this time. Then you get home. You know, soon as you walk through the door, she take off her stuff. She gonna get the belt. All she say is, "Girl, go to bed." You like,
then you sit there and look at yourself, realizing what the hell wrong with me? Like,
I didn't get my ass whooped. Exactly. Like that was just like, and I honestly think that woman needs to do that to us others.
Hey,
I really
hey, old school got their way. They got their way for real. They have a heck of a way of making you think big time.
Oh yes,
They gonna
they,
make you
they
think.
do that mental torture
Yeah,
on
they
you.
gonna make you think. You
They do
gonna
the
think.
mental
But
torture,
if you
and
want
that's
to
so
or not,
not
you
cool.
gonna think.
That's so not cool, and I didn't appreciate it. It ain't got to the point where when she would tell me, "We'll wait till we get home," I think to my head like, "Yeah, we ain't gonna do it." You know, I said last time ain't nothing happened. Then that's when she was going her trick bag,
Yeah.
and you end up getting your ass when you weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
the funniest situation that I've encountered when it comes to ass whoopings was the fact that, you know how a lot of parents always ask you the one question, were you crying when you did it?
Yeah.
Funniest situation I've encountered, one time, one of your boys, you already know who, he actually was crying when he did it. I don't remember what it was we got into, but he was crying when he did it. And when she asked, your ass wasn't crying when you did it, were you? Yes. Like, what do you do at that point?
What they
Oh my gosh, you were already crying.
But you know what else be funny too? And we try not to let the children see us laughing at it. It's when the children be small and they be done something and you see the expressions on their face combined with the answers that they give.
Yes.
And then you have to take that moment and be like,
Yes.
turn
Yeah, you
around.
gotta turn around, 'cause you don't want them to see it.
laughing.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
Like, oh my
With
goodness.
that
this is
middle
so
one,
crazy.
oh my goodness, I had to do that a lot. Because what used to get me was his creativeness. It's
Yeah.
such a little tiny, like, who comes up with that at that age? Like, if I was a mad scientist, I would really like to examine his brain to see how it works.
Right.
Like, but who comes up with it? You're only 2. Where did you get this from? And I just have to ask him. They're like, you're only 2 years old. How do you come up with this stuff? Where do you come up? And he would give me this look like, I don't know.
Right.
Just there. You know? And then, like, about all my sisters, my mom, and we were see him doing something bad, we would all want to just bust outside, and then my mother would be like, don't laugh, don't do too laugh, don't do too laugh. So we would all have to like be like this, turn away, like be like this, and all the time we were cracking up, and then I gotta put on a serious face, like, now you know you should have did that. Come over here right now. You finna sit down, because sitting down to him, that was like equivalent to getting a whooping. He hates to do that. That was like torture to make him sit. So that was equivalent to giving him a whooping. So nope, get over here and sit down. And then when he didn't want to do it, I would grab him, put my legs around him so he could move, and lock my arms around him so he could move. Oh, he hated that. I told him, this is what happens when you be bad and you do bad things. This is what happens. So, like, he just had this thing about playing in the toilet. Taking his hands, just all you wondering, like, okay, where is he? In the bathroom. Yeah, I know, right? So I would be like, I would tap his hand and I point this way. You see that? You don't put your hand, that's nasty. Blah, 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 blah. So he got to the point, like, if I'm in the bathroom, getting ready for work, I brush my teeth or whatever, comb my hair, he would come in the bathroom and he'd tell me, you see that? You see that? And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I was like, okay, he got the point. I don't have to do that no more.
You remember the time I got mad at you for whooping me and I caught myself trying to whoop you back?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I was dying that I had to turn around. That was one of the turnaround moments.
I was so mad.
Like, that's gonna try to speak.
Because you whooped up. So she getting you back. Like, how dare you?
I told her, I was like, look, girl, that's not how it works. You don't spank me, I'll spank you. Now you do it again, I will pump you again. And she was just looking at me like,
Pop you again.
she got the eyes like, what?
Right.
What we do now? Like, really?
We spank each other, huh?
Yeah. No, we don't spank each other. You get it. You sit your butt down and go to your room, whatever. But
Oh,
it don't work.
I got him real good one time. He couldn't even do nothing at that point. Because I said a bad word when I was little. And he was like, no, you don't say that. And he paused me, he was like, don't say that. And I think he was cooking. This was probably like the next day, like a few days later. He cooking or whatever, doing something. He got like trying to juggle multiple things, trying to get ready for work, fix me something to eat or whatever. And he let a bad word slip. I said, I hopped on my seat so quick. That's bad. He was just sitting there like, he couldn't help but to just stop and look at me like,
Right. What did you say? What did nothing?
yeah, you said it.
That's like me, like when Mama Woman was cursing and we were like, okay, we gotta figure out a way for him not to curse. So when me and my sisters would say a curse word, we would hit each other and say, oh, that's bad, you said a bad word, you said a curse word.
Mm-hmm.
So he got to the point that when he would hear us curse, he would hit us and say, ooh, you say that curse. You say that curse. I said, oh, you ain't supposed to be hitting me. I'm grown, I can say that. But then I had to think about it like, no,
Right.
I told you this is bad, so he has to know it's bad.
Right.
Because that little boy used to be cussing like a damn sailor. Like, what the heck?
Oh my goodness.
Me the
And
second
knew
I
when
left
to
the house.
use it. Knew when to use it. That was the crazy
That
part.
was me the second I left the house. As soon as I was on the other side of that door, the door closed. Little
I was
mama,
not in agreement with that.
mama became Popeye Taylor real quick.
So, I'm loving all these moments. This is so crazy. But each one of these moments is basically showing you how challenging, but at the same time how good it is for the father to actually
Yeah,
be present.
definitely.
It actually shows you that it is meaningful, it is impactful, it does have
Merits.
merit,
There's no
it's
merit.
moral statue. It does have value, bring value to your child's life. So, as a man, I state this: if at all fails, don't give up at the moment that you feel like giving up, because that may be the deciding factor of whether your child goes in the right direction or the wrong direction. Don't ever give up. Technically, is what I'm saying. Just keep going, because just as well as you're trying to be that guide, trying to be that confidant, trying to be that inspirer to your children, there's also a learning experience for you, because you're learning new things, you're learning new experiences, and you are accruing different learning time frames with your children. It doesn't matter, what age they get, they're still always going to be learning. No matter what age we are, they're still going to be learning. So take the time to take that in stride and actually make something out of it.
Yep. Right.
So
Thank you guys for tuning in with us this laid back Sunday fun day, open topic day. As always, please feel free to leave any topics, and on our website we will be more than happy to discuss them, as well as have you on live with us, giving us your personal perspective. So until next Saturday, join us 6 o'clock.
Central Time.
Yes. So then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good night.
Appreciate you. Peace.